It would be nice to see LeBron James with Steph Curry. It would be nice.
LeBron James to the Golden State Warriors? It sounds impossible, but Lakers owner Jeannie Buss just announced what the team has been hiding from you. Behind closed doors, conversations have been happening, deals have been discussed, and now the truth is finally coming out. The trade that could change basketball forever is closer than you think. Here are the details. The shocking announcement. Against all odds, against every expectation, against the conventional wisdom that said it could never happen, that fantasy of LeBron James joining Steph Curry is becoming a reality. The Golden State Warriors have been pursuing LeBron James with a persistence that can only be described as relentless, unwavering, and absolutely determined. This is not speculation. This is not conjecture. This is not the kind of rumor that floats around sports media without any substantive foundation. This is documented fact, corroborated by multiple sources and insiders who have tracked every single development in this extraordinary saga from its earliest beginnings to where we stand right now. It all began in earnest back in February of 2024 when the Warriors made what can only be characterized as an aggressive but ultimately unsuccessful bid to trade for LeBron James ahead of the NBA trade deadline. This was not some casual inquiry, some half-hearted attempt to gauge interest from afar. No, this was a full-throated, all-in effort orchestrated at the highest levels of the organization, involving the most powerful decision-makers in the entire franchise. Draymond Green, the emotional and spiritual leader of the Warriors dynasty, had been encouraging this pursuit for quite some time, recognizing that the window for championship contention was narrowing with each passing season, and when the moment seemed right, when the opportunity presented itself in a way that demanded immediate action, Warriors owner Joe Lacob took the extraordinarily bold step of directly contacting Lakers owner Jeannie Buss to explore whether James's public expressions of frustration with the Lakers organization might open the door to a blockbuster transaction that would reshape the entire league. The vision was clear, the ambition unmistakable. The Warriors wanted to unite LeBron James with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, imagining his all-NBA level production as the catalyst that could extend their fading dynasty and bring championship glory back to the Bay Area for one final triumphant run. But that initial attempt was rejected. Jeannie Buss deferred to LeBron's agent, powerful and influential Rich Paul, who confirmed that James had absolutely no interest whatsoever in leaving Los Angeles at that particular moment in time. Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka similarly informed Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. that the team was fully committed to keeping their superstar, that there was no scenario under which they would entertain parting ways with the greatest player to ever wear the purple and gold. And yet, here is where the story becomes truly fascinating, truly compelling in ways that capture the imagination and refuse to let go, even when logic suggests we should temper our expectations. The Warriors did not give up. They did not abandon their dream. They did not accept that initial rejection as the final word on the matter, as the definitive answer that would close this chapter forever. Over the subsequent 18 months, they made multiple calls to the Lakers to explore potential trade pathways for James, checking in periodically as they sought to build a contender around Curry. By August of 2025, NBA insider Jake Fisher reported that Golden State brass remained deeply interested in the concept, viewing a Curry-James partnership as the ultimate pathway to pursuing a fifth championship in the Curry era, a capstone achievement that would cement this dynasty as one of the greatest in basketball history. In November of 2025, additional reports emerged indicating that the Warriors' interest was very real, despite James's reported happiness in Los Angeles. A December 2025 trade proposal floated by Yahoo Sports envisioned James heading to Golden State in exchange for assets that could help rebuild the Lakers and set them up for future success. And now, as we stand here in January of 2026, the Warriors have evolved their strategy toward the offseason when LeBron James becomes an unrestricted free agent on June 30th. Insider reports suggest Golden State plans to explore signing him outright, potentially at a reduced salary, to team him with Curry for one last dynasty push that could redefine what we understand about basketball greatness. But to truly understand why this possibility has suddenly become so very real, so incredibly tangible, we must examine what has been happening behind closed doors in Los Angeles. Because the relationship between LeBron James and the Lakers organization has been far more complicated, far more fraught with tension and underlying conflict than anyone on the outside could have possibly imagined. LeBron himself addressed the speculation directly, and his words were nothing short of revelatory in what they exposed about the dynamics at play.
You know, a story that got everybody's attention last week between the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. Golden State trying to acquire LeBron James. And how far did this go, and how much did you entertain that thought?
It didn't go far at all. You know, I actually heard about it when everybody else heard about it.
Did you catch that? Did you truly absorb the significance of what LeBron just revealed? He heard about the Warriors trying to acquire him at the same time everyone else did. Conversations were happening behind closed doors that he didn't even know about. This suggests a level of organizational activity, a degree of back-channel communication between front offices that LeBron himself was not privy to until the reports became public knowledge. And as the report continued to explain, the Warriors went through their front office from top to bottom trying to identify who leaked the information, because this was something that was meant to stay completely behind closed doors, hidden from public view. But apparently LeBron isn't the only one they're targeting. They want a superstar wing with Steph Curry for next season, and they'll be open to targeting Kevin Durant and Paul George if those players are open to looking at other teams. And here's the thing that makes this entire situation so incredibly compelling, so absolutely fascinating from every conceivable angle. LeBron himself said something at the All-Star weekend that gave fuel to all of this speculation, that planted the seed in the minds of millions. He said that the player he'd most want to play with is Steph Curry. Let that sink in for a moment. The greatest player of his generation, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, the man who has won championships in Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles, publicly stated that Stephen Curry is the player he'd most want to share the court with. That's not nothing. That's everything. The Lakers drama nobody saw coming. Now, to truly comprehend why LeBron James might actually consider leaving the purple and gold, why this dream scenario might transform from fantasy to reality, we need to pull back the curtain on what has been transpiring within the Lakers organization for years, because a bombshell report from ESPN's Baxter Holmes has exposed tensions that run far deeper than anyone could have anticipated, revealing fractures that have been growing wider with each passing season. The story, published in January of 2026, detailed the feuding between the Buss family that ultimately led to the staggering $10 billion sale of the franchise to Mark Walter. But buried within that story were revelations about the relationship between Jeannie Buss and LeBron James that sent shockwaves throughout the basketball world and forced everyone to reconsider what they thought they knew about the Lakers organization. According to the report, Jeannie Buss privately grumbled about what she felt was James's outsized ego and the overt control that he and Clutch Sports exerted over the organization at times. Remember, Clutch represents both LeBron James and Anthony Davis, giving the agency tremendous leverage within the Lakers front office that few other agencies in the league can match. But that wasn't all. The story also revealed that Buss did not like that James was considered a savior for the floundering franchise when he arrived in 2018. This perception reportedly irked Buss considerably, who felt it undermined the organization's role in acquiring him and overshadowed the team's leadership and the work they had done to position themselves for his arrival. Let's be absolutely clear about the context here, because understanding the context is essential to grasping the full weight of these revelations. When LeBron James arrived in Los Angeles, the Lakers had missed the playoffs for 6 consecutive seasons, the longest drought in franchise history. The team was absolutely in the desert, wandering without direction or hope, a far cry from the championship dynasty they had once been. And then LeBron came, and in his second year, he got them to winning the championship in the bubble.
The Lakers are having a strong start to the season, sure. However, things off the court might not be as strong. In an article by Baxter Holmes published this week on ESPN.com, he detailed the feuding between the Buss family that may have led to the $10 billion sale of the team. The story also pointed out issues between Jeannie Buss and LeBron James.
Brian Windhorst, one of the most respected NBA insiders in the business, provided crucial perspective on this situation that helps us understand the full picture.
This is what they want to say, but the one thing that was this article, I believe, left out was that LeBron James was worth it. And that's what we really, really have to embrace here. The Lakers were nowhere. You were praying that LeBron James came to Tinseltown.
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back either, emphasizing the undeniable truth that so many seem eager to forget when they discuss this situation.
And it is absolutely true that he was letting folks know he was coming to the Los Angeles Lakers, the year before he arrived. We all suspected it. Now, they wanted Magic Johnson's fingerprints on it. They wanted it to happen while Magic Johnson was there because they had an affinity for Magic Johnson, and they let it be known that, out of respect to him, They wanted him there when it happened, as opposed to somebody else getting some credit for his arrival.
The tensions escalated dramatically following the July 2021 trade for Russell Westbrook, a move that would come to define the dark period of LeBron's Lakers tenure. That trade, which James and Rich Paul advocated for, proved absolutely disastrous in every conceivable way. The Lakers finished with a 33-49 record and missed the playoffs entirely, their worst performance since 2017. Buss was reportedly frustrated by what she perceived as James's lack of accountability and his tendency to shift blame for the team's failures. To understand just how catastrophic that Westbrook experiment truly was, consider the assets the Lakers surrendered to make it happen. They gave up Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Montrezl Harrell, and the number 22 pick in the 2021 NBA draft. They sacrificed key depth from their 2020 championship roster. KCP provided elite perimeter defense and shooting. Kuzma offered scoring versatility that the team desperately needed, and Harrell brought energy off the bench that could swing momentum in crucial moments. All of that was gone in an instant.
It would be nice to see LeBron James with Steph Curry. It would be nice to see one of the top 3 players in the history of basketball playing with unquestionably the greatest shooter God has ever created. But allow me to say this, LeBron doesn't deserve it. Now, I know that's sacrilegious to say, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna call it like I see it. He doesn't deserve it because of the mess that exists in LA, and it's primarily because of him.
That's a harsh assessment, but it reflects a sentiment that has been building within the Lakers organization for years. In 2022, amid the aftermath of the Westbrook deal, multiple sources claimed Buss privately considered not extending James's contract or even trading him, with the LA Clippers mentioned as a potential destination. Can you imagine that? The Lakers considering trading LeBron James to their crosstown rivals? That's how bad things had gotten behind closed doors. And then came another flashpoint that further strained the relationship, the 2024 draft selection of LeBron's son, Bronny James, with the 55th pick. Buss reportedly felt that LeBron should have shown more gratitude for the gesture, but believed he did not demonstrate the appreciation she expected. This came amid broader frustrations with James's influence on team moves and roster construction. Ultimately, she reportedly offered him a 2-year, $104 million extension in the summer of 2024, almost begrudgingly, fearing a public relations backlash if she didn't. That word begrudgingly tells you everything you need to know about where this relationship stood. Now, Jeannie Buss has responded to these reports in an attempt to smooth things over. After the ESPN piece was published, she released a statement to The Athletic saying, "It's really not right, given all the great things LeBron has done for the Lakers, that he has to be pulled into my family drama to say that I wasn't appreciative, just not true and completely unfair to him." And LeBron, for his part, addressed the controversy with characteristic directness and the kind of no-nonsense approach that has defined his entire career. "Quite frankly, I don't really care how somebody feels about me," he stated after a January 2026 loss to the Clippers. He highlighted his contributions, including restoring excellence by winning the 2020 title, and focused on his on-court performance rather than off-court drama. But here's the thing that we all need to understand. Actions speak louder than words, and the actions within the Lakers organization paint a picture of a franchise that has been increasingly fractured, increasingly dysfunctional, and increasingly unable to provide LeBron James with the support system he needs to compete for championships at this stage of his career. What happens next? So where does all of this leave us? What does the future hold for LeBron James? And could we actually witness the unthinkable scenario of him donning a Warriors uniform and playing alongside Stephen Curry in pursuit of one final championship? Let's examine the possibilities with clear eyes and honest assessment, because the stakes here could not possibly be higher for everyone involved. Brian Windhorst laid out what he believes are LeBron's 3 potential paths forward, and his analysis is worth considering carefully.
I think LeBron's future is going to go one of 3 ways. One, he is going to leave in free agency and go somewhere, like Stephen A. said, whether it's Cleveland, whether it's another place. I agree, he can't go to any franchise for a number of different reasons. His standards, he's always going to keep his legacy in mind. He's not going to go to the Memphis Grizzlies. No offense, I'm not just singling them out, but that's the team he almost went to in 2003. That's why I say that's not going to happen, okay? The second thing he can do is he can stay at the Lakers, but he's got to take a pay cut.
And Windhorst made an incredibly important point about the Lakers' current financial situation that cannot be ignored.
When Rich Paul said on his podcast last week that when he talked about trading Austin Reeves, the reason he's saying that is because the Lakers currently spend $120 million on Luka, LeBron, and Reeves. All 3 of them are perimeter-based ball handlers who don't defend. you don't have to be Red Auerbach to know that ain't going to work, okay? So one of them is going to have to go away.
The third option, of course, is retirement. And that brings us to a profound consideration that LeBron himself has addressed on multiple occasions throughout his remarkable career.
I've beat the odds. I never put a ceiling. I never said how many years I want to play. I've already exceeded that, I guess. I mean, the life expectancy of an NBA player is definitely not 16 years.
Look at the rest of your draft.
Yeah, right. So I've never taken it for granted.
I know you've seen what I've seen, though, which is that some guys are going along fine, and then their game just falls off a cliff. Do you worry about that at all?
No, I don't. Because my game is so multi-dimensional that I can actually camouflage some parts of my game that can make a decline and actually still be productive, if that makes sense.
And then there's the possibility that has captivated the imagination of so many fans and analysts, a return to Cleveland, the city where it all began, the city that witnessed LeBron's rise from prodigious high school phenom to global superstar. Stephen A. Smith has been particularly vocal about this option.
My attitude is if you really, really want to win, how about going back to Cleveland? Now, I'm not one to advise people to leave places like LA and Miami for Cleveland. That is not what I do. But I'm thinking about basketball in this particular situation. And I'm like, could you imagine if you could keep a Mobley and you could keep a Donovan Mitchell and LeBron returned to Cleveland to end his career?
But consider this. The Golden State Warriors are not just interested in LeBron James. Reports indicate they're also pursuing Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo if he becomes available, aiming to form a superstar trio with Curry for one last dynasty push. This is a franchise that is absolutely committed to maximizing Steph Curry's championship window, and they view LeBron as potentially the missing piece that could complete their puzzle. The motivations are clear and incredibly compelling when you examine them closely. Pairing LeBron's playmaking and scoring with Curry's shooting could create what many analysts believe would be an absolutely unstoppable offense. Unlike anything the NBA has ever witnessed, it would add veteran leadership to a roster that has struggled since their 2022 championship, and it would give both legends the opportunity to pursue greatness together rather than against one another in the twilight of their careers. To put LeBron's continued excellence in perspective, consider what he has accomplished with the Lakers throughout his tenure. He has averaged 26.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.0 assists per game over his 8 seasons with the franchise. He delivered a championship in 2020, ending the Lakers' 6-year playoff drought and bringing the Larry O'Brien Trophy back to Los Angeles. He surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer in February 2023, a milestone many thought would never be broken. He reached 40,000 career points in March 2024, and even now, at 41 years of age, he continues to average 22.4 points, 6.0 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game in the 2025-26 season, defying Father Time in ways that seem almost superhuman. His legacy transcends statistics, transcends championships, transcends individual accolades. He is the only player in NBA history to amass 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. He has won 4 championships across 3 different franchises, earning Finals MVP each time. He has transformed every single organization he has been a part of, elevating them from mediocrity to championship contention.
Since right now, you are a 30-something playing like a 20-something. I know you're only contracted to be here with the Lakers for 3.5 more years, but it doesn't feel like that should be your last contract.
Right.
If you played for just a year more than that, with the way it looks like one and done is coming out of the NBA, you could be playing when your son, LeBron James Jr., could enter the league.
That would be phenomenal.
This is getting closer.
That would be phenomenal.
This is literally, you would have to just do one more year after this contract.
And LeBron's response to that possibility was telling, revealing a man who still has dreams left to pursue.
I'm not putting that pressure on him,
Same.
but I want him, if he continues, I believe, if he continues on the path that he's on now, he has a very, very good chance. And if I continue doing what I'm doing right now, I got a very good chance too, and we can meet.
So what happens next? The NBA trade deadline looms in early February 2026. LeBron becomes an unrestricted free agent on June 30th. The Warriors have made their intentions abundantly clear through years of persistent pursuit. The relationship between LeBron and the Lakers organization has been exposed as far more complicated and far more strained than anyone previously understood. The core motivation for the Warriors is extending their dynasty. Pairing LeBron's playmaking and scoring with Curry's shooting could could create an offense unlike anything the NBA has ever witnessed. It would add veteran leadership to a roster seeking to recapture championship glory, and it would give both transcendent talents the opportunity to cement their legacies together in a partnership that would be talked about for generations to come. The obstacles remain significant. There are cap space concerns, questions about whether LeBron would accept a reduced salary, and the simple reality that at 41 years of age, even the greatest player of his generation is fighting against the inevitable march of time. But if there's one thing we've learned about LeBron James over the course of his extraordinary career, it's that he has a way of defying expectations, of accomplishing things that everyone said were impossible. One thing is certain: whatever decision LeBron James makes will reverberate throughout the basketball world for years to come. Whether he stays in Los Angeles, returns to Cleveland, joins forces with Steph Curry in Golden State, or walks away from the game entirely, his choice will shape the final chapter of one of the greatest careers in sports history. This is not the end of the story. This is merely the beginning of an unprecedented chapter in NBA history. The dream that wouldn't die is still very much alive, and the basketball world is watching with bated breath to see what happens next. Stay tuned, because what happens next could change basketball forever. Love this video? Click on the cards on your screen for more.